We got shots in front of us. It's time for Drunk Cast Live.
That's how it is. Here we go. Hi. Once upon a groove on an old soul tune, I watch the pin move to shape the breakthroughs. Who makes moves, maneuver in the right direction? The rest of you get left behind and messed up in this session.
Welcome everyone to Drunk Cast Live, episode 70. January 25th. It's time to drink. Drunk Cast Live is a semi-award-winning podcast coming to you at Don's Depot today. We do a portable podcast that takes place in little bars and restaurants all over the world someday. I don't know if anyone actually likes that thing. I think it's fun to say. It's something I'm trying to get in.
Well, 2 weeks ago you said it about 7 times because you had to record like 7 different intros.
Yeah, I really did. Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Hey,
F1. I'm your host, Travis Kildorf, and we're happy to have you listen to me talk. Awesome panel tonight. I have Donnie over here on my left-hand side.
Hello, Travis.
I got Hallie coming back right across from him.
Hello.
Hello. And Dylan rocking the board as usual.
Hello.
Dylan feeling a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Get a couple shots of me, I'll be fine.
Sure. What kind of shots?
Whatever.
Well, let's take those shots and let's see what happens. Cheers to...
Vodka mostly. Mostly.
Take my vodka drink. I take my vodka drink.
Take my other vodka drink.
Right.
Yeah. That Chumbawamba. They really nailed it, man.
So relevant right now.
They really nailed it, yeah. They just cut to the core of me with that song. They really spoke to me in ways that I never knew possible before.
She nailed it like Bill Clinton nailed Monica Lewinsky, am I right?
Bada boom.
Yeah.
So, what's been going on, guys? You haven't been on the show in quite some time, young lady.
I haven't. It's been, at least a month.
At least a month or so, yeah.
Something like that. So in the meantime, we've had a snow apocalypse.
That's right. We had the
here in
snowpocalypse.
Austin.
Yes,
Which-
all one day of it.
Well,
Typical.
all of about 4 hours worth of it, actually. Because by noon, it was pretty much over.
Well,
that's your first snowpocalypse in Austin, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, we have them
it
every
is.
3 or 4 years. It's
It
always
is.
the same thing.
Yeah.
It shuts the whole city down for like 3 days, and it's really about 4 or 5 hours of inconvenience.
well, to be absolutely fair about it, really, Andrea was working at Jackalope that Thursday night.
Yeah, at night,
The night
actually,
before.
it was bad. Yeah.
And it was really bad at night. 116 wrecks, I think.
Sure.
Something ridiculous.
Right. So it did get really bad, but the next day, Facebook posts, every single one of them was really embarrassing for Texas people because it's snow day. Everyone stayed at home, or
All the
God,
schools were closed.
All the schools were closed.
Businesses were mostly closed, at least till noon or so.
There's a great Facebook picture. Someone just took a red Solo cup and some ice cubes and just like threw it on the ground. It was like, Texas shuts down,
We will rebuild.
Together we will come back from this travesty. What'd you guys do on Friday? Or snow apocalypse?
Well, Chris Christie was withholding the funding I needed to rebuild after the snowpocalypse. So mainly I was writing angry letters to my congressman.
His jurisdiction reaches to Austin now.
Yeah. It was a big bridge that goes from New Jersey right to Texas.
Oh, yeah.
He had that thing shut down.
The Jersey Texian corridor.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. We are part of the Rust Belt, I think, right?
I had great plans for my snow day, but instead I ended up waking up, rolling over, calling the inclement weather line for my job. They're like, we're going to open at noon instead of normal time. And I was like, great, time to get up and go to you. So that was what I did with the apocalypse.
Yeah. I went in an hour late because I figured I could, not because I actually could not go in on time.
Okay.
But
I don't not get that logic.
Yeah. Well, because I figured that everybody else would too.
Yeah.
And that I wouldn't get in trouble. And I didn't. But then I had to stay 2 hours late because the person who was supposed to be working that 2 hours didn't show up.
Oh, probably for a legitimate reason.
Yeah, the snowpocalypse.
Maybe they're dead.
Yeah.
They got
We can only hope.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
Drunk Ass very positive.
Yeah, that's what I say every time I get in a traffic jam. Hope somebody died.
Just hope it's worth it.
Yeah.
Better be some dead bodies. For slowing down my commute by 5 minutes, there better be a corpse in the road, man.
Dylan, did you work on Friday?
Actually, oddly enough, yes, I did.
Okay.
And I was there an hour and a half before everybody else was.
Perfect. Yeah.
Well, I literally live 3 miles from work. And
Yeah.
No bridges.
Yeah. Bridges are the scariest part.
So I actually got to work like at 9:30. I'm like, okay,
Well-
I'll hang out till people show up.
And for people who listen to the show who have actually never been to Austin, there's a lot of flyovers in this fucking
Yeah.
city.
There really are.
And especially our major thoroughfare 35. A major thoroughfare.
Almost all of 183 is above ground, too.
Yeah, sure. But then the 35 actually splits it. It splits the 3 lanes or 4 lanes, 4 lanes into two lane
Double
roads,
deckers,
one that
yeah.
goes down and one goes up. So I'm sure that it was just hilarious. It was all just fucking hilarious. I'm sure. Dylan and I were working at when we were working at Photodesk together, like really early into.
That was about 8-9 years ago now.
Yeah.
We got snowed in one night.
Yeah, we
Had to stay at night. Had to stay at night at work.
Nice.
it was
We've
in
been special friends ever since.
one of the little freeze overs.
Little slumber party.
Yeah,
We
Hot cocoa?
We actually did.
Yeah, we didn't have hot cocoa unfortunately, but
Where was the preparation? Come on.
Oh, they had a fully stocked bar.
No, actually, then we didn't.
At
This
that
was
point, it was-
before the Don Draper days.
it was all
Oh,
business.
it
Yeah.
was.
But there was a restaurant which is now gone. Something else.
Cool River.
That was in the same parking lot. So we ran over there before they closed, and we made them stay open like an extra hour. We drank as much as we could because they're like trying to get their employees out. We're
Yeah.
like, one more drink. And then there was a gas station we went and got some beer at, or the Walgreens, one or the other, that was still open, and then we got some beer or something. To get back to the office.
Yeah.
But we were like slipping and sliding and falling on our butts like in the parking lot,
Nice.
even trying to get to these places.
And Jared, who's been on the show before, would not.
He refused to stay.
He refused to stay because he's just not that kind of guy. And he's got like he was like a Toyota Tercel or something at the time. I can't remember. Something small.
The Green Goblin.
Not great traction by any means. And he I guess it took him 2 hours to get home because he
Yeah.
took every little back road and he was like, could not stay.
But you lived in San Marcos at the time.
I lived in San Marcos at the time,
and,
so
and
there
our
was no
office
reason for me
was
to go home.
North Austin. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there was no way of getting down that far without
Yeah.
being...
Normally, as a 45 to an hour,
Yeah.
with all of that shit, no. Sorry.
And of course, the next morning by like 10, everything was fine.
No, my favorite part about that actually is like, so we kind of pulled some computers together and like we played the Family Guy movie that
Yeah.
had just come out, right? And like we grabbed our accoutrement, so whatever we could sleep on. Like I went to the production area and grabbed a big bag of
You have, like,
packing peanuts.
Packing peanuts.
Yeah. Huge, like beanbag size. It was like I was set, And then all of a sudden the door opens and the guy who cleans I can't remember that guy's
Jody,
name.
yeah.
Jody. He comes in like nothing's happened because he got so tired of people breaking into his car to steal his stereo that he bought a truck and put monster tires on them.
Yeah.
He wanted to be difficult for people to steal his stereo so bad. And he was like, "Oh, is it iced outside? What do you guys watching cartoons? You guys are weird." Like, Jody, get out of here, man.
Jody.
It was
He's
pretty
a
funny.
character.
Yeah, but Austin totally just does not know what to do.
Yeah.
Anything nice.
Snowpocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah, every couple of years we have one of these. Yeah.
Well, that was my last Friday before I start working, and I was like one Friday off, and then I couldn't really do anything, So I stayed home and drank some slow and low,
No, that is the tempo.
Yeah. yeah. But yeah. Oh yes.
So yeah, we became a laughing stock. About once every 2 or 3 years, we become the laughing stock
Yeah, for sure, man.
of Reddit. At least lots of people were posting there.
Yeah. Well, I try to stay away from it because it is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, well, we don't have trucks full of salt,
Yeah.
Like
Well, sorry.
big major cities, especially like Northeast, like that's their thing, man. We don't
Yeah.
have that.
I will say that driving home Thursday night was just cops and fire trucks driving every which way with their lights on.
Yeah.
And then I heard more sirens outside my window than I've ever
heard before, yeah.
in a night.
Me as well, actually. Was it Andrew was like, "Hey, you want to come out and have a drink?" I was like, I just kept hearing sirens for like an hour. Like, I don't know. Oh, yes. But
Well,
whatever.
All I know about the snowpocalypse is that I did believe in global warming, and then Thursday night happened.
Yeah, that disproved it.
No,
Yeah.
I mean obviously it's
Yeah.
not true.
Yeah, it's global warming, so that means it's supposed to get just warmer, right?
Yeah, so, I mean
Right.
there was ice on the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's it
Give
gonna
me
be?
a break.
Well, the
Ice
other
on
thing
the-
is that Jesus would never let that happen, because if you remember in Genesis chapter 5, God promised that he was never going to bring a weather apocalypse on earth ever again.
The flood.
Yeah.
The flood.
Yeah.
Well, what is Jesus really like? He's pretty biased. You got to think because ice is a form of water. He's not going to slip on any of that shit. He can walk right across it. Like that's easy. So Jesus does not have our back when it comes to the next ice age.
He'll just show up and turn it into wine, man.
That'd be rad. Frozen wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falling from the skies. Ooh.
Oh, it's snow wine again.
I
Yeah.
think I'm back on board with this whole Bible thing, man.
Jesus is magic after
It's
all.
kind of like a margarita or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Frozen sangrias for everyone.
A cram burrito, I guess.
I'm going to go ahead and, let's say, take our first break. We'll come back and do segment 2.
Sweet.
Break.
And the night's new, what a feeling, what a nice mood.
Citation needed? Come on.
I got my old soul shoes, tripping on this deep groove. And the night's new, what a feeling, what a nice mood. Boom, boom, bam, boom, box. We're here to rock you.
Welcome back to the show. Yeah. Segment 2.
The fighting deuce.
No, the fighting Duke. The fighting Duke. Got some shots. Let's take some shots.
Yes, I need my allergy meds.
Phones down, thumbs up.
Plastic.
Time for a podcast.
No clink.
Hey, when you're rolling with me, a huge Hogan's Heroes fan, there's
Sure.
always a clink.
Topical.
I'm just saying, I'm a huge Hogan's Heroes fan.
Yeah, well, no, I believe
Colonel Clink was the best.
I believe that. I've never seen any of that show.
Really?
Yeah, no, no.
No, that's actually one of the best shows of that era of television.
Yeah,
believe it.
no, I think Justin got on a tear of watching Hogan's Heroes, and then that was all he would talk about for about a month one time.
Just
Yeah.
McGowan?
Just now, yeah.
No, Alan. Yeah,
It's a great
Alan.
show. It's that classic TV where I dream of
Everything
Jeannie.
is reset at the end of the like the next episode.
Well, that
or-
too, but it's also there's a level of sexiness and subversiveness in it. There's intelligence in it.
Sure.
Like Werner Klemper, Colonel Klink, only agreed to play Colonel Klink if he could make sure that Colonel Klink was a complete buffoon and always failed every episode because
He was a Nazi.
because he's
Yeah,
a Nazi.
yeah,
So
'cause that's
you
the only
can't
way
have
to
a
make
Nazi ever succeed. He has to be
Right.
the foil. You know?
Right.
So just have that level of awareness from and the actors' involvement in that kind of thing was cool. And then Bob Hogan was a horn dog who fucked everything on the set apparently,
Naturally.
as told in the movie Autofocus, starring Greg Kinnear and Willem Dafoe.
I love you, Dylan.
I really like Hogan's Heroes. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
That explains the coffee book that's in our house.
The Hogan's Heroes coffee table book.
Yeah.
Written for you specifically.
Yeah.
Everything Dylan needs to know about Hogan's Heroes.
Hogan. Well, that and Colonel Klink is Homer Simpson's guardian angel.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Homer. See? That was back to the Simpsons eventually.
It always comes back. to
Allie, what's your
this.
favorite? What's your favorite old
Sorry about
school
that.
sitcom?
Ask somebody else.
You don't know?
Sorry, no.
You never went
No.
through like an I Love
I'm-
Lucy
I'm a little bit-
power watching phase or anything?
No, I didn't even have Nickelodeon as a kid.
But
What-
what about TV Land?
What was the last one you remember watching and actually enjoying?
The last, well, I mean, I'm telling you, I consider Boy Meets World to be an old school sitcom. So I'm telling you, you're
That's fine.
asking the
No,
wrong
No,
person.
that part's fine. It doesn't matter. Really, yeah.
Hang with Mr. Cooper? Nothing?
I got nothing. I really didn't have Nickelodeon as a kid though. Everyone else was talking about getting slimed and like what Alex Mack was doing in her secret life, and I was like, what the fuck are you guys?
Getting slammed is a very different thing.
Oh, actually,
Because
Alex
you can't
Mack.
do that on television.
Alex Mack was getting slammed in her secret life.
Oh, he's
too,
getting
yeah.
slammed?
No,
Yeah.
slimed.
Oh, she was a squirter. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was
That's
a
not-
secret life.
A round of tequila for everyone.
Hey,
so that's what she was doing when she turned to water. It wasn't really water. No, like
see, and I don't even get that joke. I'm telling you, bad audience.
Well,
no, I went through
Okay.
a Happy Days phase, or like I had roommates that started watching Happy Days, and it's like the quintessential sitcom. Like it's from the golden age of sitcoms, or a bit later,
the
70s.
60s and 70s. They were,
Yeah.
set the standard for all formulaic television that has come since then. Nothing's really changed as far as like the
Well, yeah, the
I guess what's called like
Tropes.
The one camera is that what they call it?
Multi-camera.
with a laugh track.
yeah.
Like it all stems from these 7 or 8 shows from the 70s and
Yeah.
60s.
Well, and there was a surprising focus. I don't remember Happy Days. I remember if I'm going to answer the question, I just
This is
don't.
where Jump the Shark actually comes from.
Well, yeah,
Because
yeah,
Fonzie
yeah.
actually jumped a
Yeah.
shark.
When I was
He
on
remembers
water
he remembers the
skis.
Weezer video, but he doesn't remember the
Yeah.
show.
when I was a kid, I loved Beverly Hillbillies. I loved that show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that obviously fits. I also really loved crap. Mayberry, Andy Griffith.
I didn't care for the
Andy Griffith.
Andy Griffith show.
Andy Griffith show.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
It seemed too easy.
A little
I
too
couldn't remember.
morality and
Yeah.
too friendly.
Oh yeah, no, sure.
Beverly Hillbillies had a sex appeal in it.
It was clever as hell, too.
It did. It had some
It really
subversiveness, had like
was,
some, Jed Clampett wasn't a dumb character. He was
No,
just,
not at all.
he
was
that
just,
was the cousin.
He
Yeah,
was
I
he was
can't
not
remember the cousin,
learned. He had not.
But
yeah.
he could, foil Hathaway and the rich guy every turn at every turn, like
Yeah.
with his sly, slow country ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember in the '90s at least they started like making them all into movies?
Oh yeah, the Beverly Hillbillies movie was actually really
With
good.
Jim Varney
he was fantastic.
Jake
Yeah, he was
Clampett.
great.
He was fantastic.
Or the Little Rascals movie,
A penis.
I do.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
All they want is a penis.
Happiness, yeah.
the Addams Family movie. Like they
Oh,
they
that's
went
the-
through a
that
whole
was
thing.
fantastic.
Like,
Those are good.
It's so
Yeah,
super
Adam
good.
Family also a fantastic sitcom.
well,
It was. It was. Well, and also because it had that really like rich universe of like.
Yeah, and,
what
and,
else?
And clever writing.
That's why I didn't like the Munsters because it was like that's the same thing. Like and not the same thing as the Addams Family. It was like everything was the same thing. It was.
it was. If Adam were here, he'd call it the GoBots of of the Addams Family.
Yeah.
Adam is at
The Munsters were the GoBots. to the
Renaissance
Addams
Festival this
Family.
weekend. Who will not be on the show, obviously. The Munsters was like the Leave It to Beaver
Yeah.
thing. It was like this is. I mean, I
But the-
get that's
but
what
the-
they were
the
going
Addams Family
for,
had-
but
they had some twisted, sick stuff in that show.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that you probably couldn't do nowadays. Like just the way they had some weird jokes and
yep.
just perversion. I think is the appropriate word.
Really dark characters.
Yeah.
A lot of dark characters. I mean,
Well, that and like
and Gomez, of course, was
Gomez was
Go-
an absolute sadist.
Yeah, yeah.
well, like so.
And a
So
slut,
Gomez
you know?
was basically a vampire.
Ish.
Yeah, I'm not really sure
Morticia,
what he was.
Morticia was more a vampire.
She was definitely, I guess, a vampire.
and he was kind of the sadist, kind of Count Dracula-esque.
Yeah, but
and then
he loved when his wife like would hurt him. Like
Yeah.
he would
Yeah.
get aroused.
Or
with the
speak
idea.
French,
Yeah.
of course.
yeah, and then Wednesday was basically a corpse. She was a dead girl.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
What was Pugsley? Pugsley, he looked like an escaped convict.
I'm gonna call him Afterbirth.
Yeah,
Why not?
Yeah, I mean,
and then Uncle Fester looked like a weird old wizard,
Yeah. Well, I guess he was supposed to be mad scientist.
mad
of sorts.
scientist.
Yeah,
And Lurch,
yeah.
of course, was Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that movie I Frankenstein, he's not Frankenstein. He's not. He's the monster. Why is his name Frankenstein in the movie?
Because people are stupid.
yeah. because that's the way people remember
Yeah.
that.
Because of Boris Karloff, actually.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, then you had Thing and Cousin It. Like, yeah, Adam's Family was great.
Yeah,
Well, and then
because it
it's
was a
like-
perv, because it was a horn dog always sitting on chicks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and always getting a lot of
And I
them.
was getting a lot of
Well, I just like whenever in the movie, whenever Cousin It pulls up in his little car and it's blaring "Too Legit to Quit" by MC Hammer.
yeah, product placement.
Right.
That's
Anyway,
not dated
sorry,
at all.
Sorry, sort of to take over there, Hallie.
Say what they
The
want to
question
do. What
of
they want to do.
sitcom.
Yeah, because
Sorry, somebody had to.
because he made a song of
Somebody had to.
MC Hammer had the official
Oh.
song for Adam's Family
You
Movie.
remember the days whenever every movie would have a rap song in the credits
Yeah.
that told the story of the plot of the movie? Like Ghostbusters 2 had that.
MIB.
Atsy Ninja Turtles. Atsy Ninja Turtles.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Go Ninja.
Classic.
I think they need to
Vanilla
bring
Ice,
that
man.
back. I think that they need to bring back the rap song that describes the plot of the movie playing over the credits.
Actually, I was just watching. I was watching Office Space. They kind of had that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a little bit of a twist in that, but it was
Take this job and shove it.
but that was a whole '90s thing, I guess. Every song was. This is a story all about how my life got flipped upside down.
Yeah. Well, at the end of Pacific Rim, you know, there's a rap about giant
okay.
robots or whatever.
So we have a
Oh,
love.
spoiler
so
alert.
the art has not been lost.
No,
That's good to know.
No, definitely not. You just have to find the people who still appreciate it. That's the real key.
Okay.
The rap soundtrack. I mean, and Will Smith, of course, being the king of all of it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, that was the last one I can remember. Is the Wild Wild,
Wild
West
West,
and
yeah.
Men in Black.
Wiki
He would
Wiki
do-
Wild, Wiki Wild Wild.
Yeah.
Which I like that movie. I'm sorry. I
Yeah, sure.
I am the one guy who
Sure.
likes that movie.
Sure.
What, Men in Black?
No, Wild Wild West.
Oh. I was like,
Again, a fantastic series from the 60s.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Oh,
was an
actually,
amazing
Oh,
TV
I forgot.
show.
Crap. Support your
your local sheriff and
and
gunfighter, yeah.
and based on basically the same character in both of those movies.
Yeah.
Was the television show not the Rifleman? Crap. What was he? It was a television show. It was basically that
Maverick.
Maverick. Yeah.
Which was
Yeah.
remade into a movie in the 90s.
Which was
starring-
was a bad movie.
It was an
Gibson.
awesome movie.
Yeah. But James Garner was the
Yeah,
gunfighter and
yes,
Support
yeah.
Your Local Sheriff.
Yeah.
Support Your Local
And James
Gunfighter.
Garner.
And he was
amazing.
fantastic in
Yeah.
those movies. Those were
Yeah.
really good.
Have you ever seen any of those, lady?
well, I was actually just going to say, you know how you have a memory that's buried under some kind of alcohol haze? Because it happened when you were completely drunk and
Oh, yeah, sure.
nothing else has reminded you of it since.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
I
Drugcast,
just,
everybody.
I just remembered that at some point in my life, I've watched Support Your Local Sheriff.
Yeah.
And like completely forgot it existed until just now. And then I was like, fuck.
No, that's a great
That
little
was,
movie.
It's a
that
great
was
little
great movie. I enjoyed it. I remember it.
He
I
walks
do.
in the general store and they're like, well, so, you know, what are you going to do? He's like, so he takes a a washer
Yeah.
out of a big barrel of washers and flips it in the air and shoots through it. And you're like, well, prove it. And he's like, so he puts tape over the washer and then does it again. I'm like, you're hired. Like,
Well, see, I'm on my way to Australia. I'm just passing through.
right.
Well, they pulled
Well,
that trick in the new Sherlock, the last Sherlock episode.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the new Sherlocks yet.
They're so good.
I can't talk about it.
The new ones.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them yet, so I haven't downloaded the.
I hate to go all Tumblr on your ass, but seriously, the feels.
It's okay.
The feels.
Don't worry, I will never see anything on Tumblr ever. So.
Well, yeah, catch up so we can talk about it. 'cause-
Seriously,
Yeah.
so fucking good.
It is really good.
Oh my god.
I want to. I love
Surprising,
Sherlock.
but I mean, I have all of them too. I mean, I could even send you streaming links.
No, they're-
Tony has them on his
in the
computer.
future.
They're- no,
Okay.
I don't even have them on their computer. I have them on our network attached
Yeah,
storage
I just
that
need
is
to
shared.
get my computer hooked
Yeah.
up.
Your purchase versions.
yeah,
Yes,
no,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
the things I bought.
Yes.
Yeah. What else? Other 70s, 80s like classic sitcoms. It's funny to think of the word classic sitcoms with the kind of shit that comes out now.
Yeah.
So like this is going to be classic to someone, but like
Come on, dads, man. Dads.
well, Big Bang Theory, being in that.
That show is not funny.
I don't personally find it funny, honestly. I tried,
That show is terrible.
but I just got to change it.
Bazinga.
Yeah. But,
We're nerds, right?
No, it's. Did you ever watch Extras with Ricky Gervais?
Yeah.
He has this. Basically, he has this idea that is The Office, the original UK Office.
Yeah.
He takes it to BBC, and they make him change it into a multi-camera laugh-track sitcom called When the Whistle Blows.
oh Jesus.
And it is a complete takedown of all of that kind of stuff with the catchphrases
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
with the the wig, wearing a wig and being goofy and that kind of stuff.
The show
yeah.
episodes that has Joey on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Is the same thing. Like
Yeah.
Whoa.
no, not
that
Joey.
Joey.
Oh, different
Yeah.
Joey.
Matt LeBlanc.
Oh,
How you doing?
How you
That
doing?
Joey.
How you doing?
And he's actually fantastic in it.
like Friends. Friends will be a classic sitcom. at some
Friends
point.
might be the
Friends
last
actually already
one.
is.
That
Like,
Yeah,
that-
it's
Sein-
at that point. Yeah.
Seinfeld
Well,
and Friends.
Seinfeld
I was,
ended first,
I was
so,
talking
yeah.
to
Yeah,
my
that's true.
dad not too long ago, and he made a comment about my fake half brother. Who he actually is my real half brother, but he's a fake
that you
relative.
ate in the womb, yeah.
He's 12 years younger than I am. And my dad was referencing how my half brother, who's 12 years younger than I am, loves Friends. I'm like, dude, you were like 3 when that show was on.
yeah.
But apparently, it's on like TV Land or something, and he watches
Yeah.
it all. And it's like his favorite sitcom. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
It probably is on TV Land.
I was watching that when it came out. You were, in diapers.
Yeah.
Well, how could you possibly enjoy this series? Apparently, it's his favorite show of all time.
I was never really a big fan of westerns. I was never really a big fan of westerns. It's only that series with, it's only
Wild Wild West.
to support your Wild Wild West was cool only
Yeah.
because like
The Rifleman
little-
was actually pretty cool.
I kind of remember the Rifleman. I mean, in Kung Fu, the legend continues.
That was terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
Kung Fu was really
You and
Westerns, I'm
Chance
not a
went
big
through
fan.
watching all of Kung Fu for
it's
like
really bad.
6 months when
Ch-
we were.
Chance got really into it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Chance.
That's what introduced him to fighting or whatever. Yeah. Even though it's not even real fighting, it's just like, like
Grasshopper.
Yeah, I used to watch Green Acres whenever it was on.
Oh
at
yeah,
midnight.
sure, Green Acres.
I never
Just because I
cared
like
for
the
that.
theme song.
Yeah.
I never cared for it, but still, it does fall in that classic. There was some clever writing in that show. There
Yeah.
was. Even though they had a talking pig or whatever. But
Wilbur, was that Mr. Ed? I
No,
watched that.
That was terrible.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
that one.
That
was
was
terrible. Yeah. Dennis the Menace. I used to watch Dennis the Menace.
What about my favorite Martian?
Yeah, not really a fan.
Of course, I Dream.
Our Dream Jimmy was
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah,
I actually really liked that a lot.
and then-
Not just because Barbara Eden was fantastic in that barely clothed outfit.
yeah. Dick Sargent. That's weird.
Actually, but it was Sergeant Healy, the slimy horn dog
Yeah.
best friend. He was the best part of the show.
Yeah.
He was the prototype for Quagmire, basically.
He was Quagmire. No, you're right. He was Quagmire. Because Seth MacFarlane has never had an original idea ever, so now we know where Quagmire comes from.
Yeah, sure.
All right, mystery solved. Well done,
We
Scooby and the gang.
we fixed another one, guys.
And I didn't know until probably like 10 years ago, maybe, that Flintstones was the Honeymooners.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah,
literally
yeah.
was the Honeymooners,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
just
yeah.
animated. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
They even ripped off his voice and everything.
Yeah. I just, you know why? It's because he never threatened to punch his wife in the face. That's why I never realized it. One of these days.
So speaking of, so sitcoms that should be classics.
That's reminded the John Hamm.
That's My
bit
Bush.
from- That's My Bush.
That's
is
My
awesome.
Bush.
That's My
should-
Bush was great.
It
was
was
really awesome.
so wonderful. Because
That's My Bush.
That was
Well,
Trey and Matt.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that was like them really paying an amazing tribute to that formula of comedy. you know?
It reminds me.
Hi, neighbor.
It reminds me that I need to get
Just
some.
walking into the White House.
I need to get a download or something of these episodes. But Heil, honey, I'm home.
What?
There was a sitcom that was made in
Haven't
like the
seen that
'60s about.
I don't even think you need to say what it's about. I think we all already
it's
know.
Adolf Hitler and Ava Braun move into a house in the suburbs, and they have Jewish neighbors.
Nice. Nice.
And they can't get along with them. Ooh, it's so
Right.
wacky and crazy. Like,
Hijinks.
and it ran for like 3 episodes
World War
before
II,
the outcry
Hitler
was
moved
so
to
bad.
Hoboken.
That's what My Bush reminds me of because it was so goofy. It's
Yeah.
like who played Karl Rove in that? I can't even remember.
Was that Kurt Fuller?
Carl Robe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
One of these days, Laura, I'm gonna punch you in the face
And in the stomach, and then in the face again.
I love how the studio audience
Yeah.
chimes in and goes.
I read that they actually had a "That's My Bush" and "That's My Gore" set
Yeah.
up for the re-election, just in case.
Yeah.
I'm really glad they went with the Bush because the Bush character, like the best thing about that, I don't know, Hallie, if you remember "That's My Bush" or not.
I don't.
Okay, so it was obviously South Park guys, get from context or whatever, created a television show, a sitcom based around the White House, it was Bush and Bush Jr. or whatever, and they never really made him out to be the bad guy. He was just a lovable buffoon.
Yeah.
Who he had a date with Laura that night. The same night he also had a date with an aborted fetus that was pro-life.
Yeah.
And so he had to keep going back and forth between the two dinners.
Like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Well, like any sitcom ever, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, mix up, and like, so it always had a neighbor that would come into the front of the White House, just open the front door and be like, hey, neighbor.
Yeah.
Hey, I got your newspaper. What's going on today, And then the guy who was playing like Karl Rove or the Vice President Cheney was like always kind of mean.
Yeah,
and,
the
like, he
Cheney
was,
guy
like-
was always
Yeah.
twiddling his
Scheming,
thumbs.
yeah.
And it was wonderful. And it wasn't, I think it really all stopped around 9/11.
Well, they only made like 8 episodes anyway.
And
so.
I had a feeling they were going to keep going with it, but like then tragedy struck. It's like, well, let's give the real Bush a little bit of time before we start mocking him again, And then South Park. So
That's my
Yeah, so Spike Jones did an AMA yesterday or whatever, and somebody asked him, they're like, well, if you had the machine or whatever that could put you into somebody's head, like in being John Malkovich, whose head would you want to go into? He's like, I want to go to George W. Bush's head because at this point he just seems kind of sweet and sad.
Yeah.
And then he was like,
Yeah.
well, I'd probably get tired of it after about 15 minutes and then leave,
sure,
So speaking of George Bush, I have to share this with you guys.
nice.
This showed
Good
up on
segue.
my Facebook today as the best Bush defense I think I have ever seen.
Okay.
Bush refused to play golf as long as the troops were fighting. And Barack Obama has played more rounds of golf than any other president.
Oh, man, I think I'm a Republican now.
I know. Just revolutionized my
But
entire
speaking of that,
political scheme.
it is pretty ridiculous how much golf Barack Obama plays. Like, he
I don't
plays
know.
a lot of
Is
golf.
there any shrub left in Central Texas after all
Yeah,
the bushwhacking
yeah.
he literally did?
They literally did.
How much vacation time he took and go hang out in Crawford?
I had some friends in high school, from high school, that were talking about Bush and Obama, and kind of got into a weird conversation that Facebook would normally filter out for me, but whatever. So they were talking about this and this, and like, okay, I get that, and then they got into the point of actual vacation time, and I looked up the numbers. Obama has taken in 2 terms 90 days of vacation time, 90 days total. In 2 terms,
In 6 years.
Bush took 340.
It's almost an entire year.
Yeah. Yes. In Crawford. Probably working in Crawford or whatever, but it's like,
He was getting the debriefings every day. Yeah.
yeah, well, whatever that is, like comic book form or whatever,
What I
But
did
it's
not
okay
know-
because he didn't play golf.
Right. That's the key.
That's right, he
is
wrote-
that-
Because he supports the troops.
He rode his mountain bike and he cleared some shrubs.
It's like, you know what? I'm going to start a kitten strangling massacre because a cat swiped at my dad's face one day, but I'm going to refuse to play tennis until the kitten murders are over.
right. I'm actually
That's a good analogy.
I'm gonna stop.
Second note, I hate playing tennis.
Right. I'm gonna stop paying my taxes until the war and everywhere else, until all of our troops come home.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm a patriot.
Yeah.
I'm in jail. God. What was your segue, sir?
I think it's time for a break, actually. So
Is it really Ari?
it's been a while.
I don't want to lose the segue.
It
Okay.
wasn't really us that.
Okay, we'll take a break.
Break. We're here to rock you.
I never knew they were in Colorado.
Welcome back to the show.
Yeah.
Segment 3, the Fighting 3. We've been talking for a little bit. What's been going on this week? What is happening, guys?
Oh, the dude who had the Obama movie.
Yeah, Dinesh D'Souza, that little twerp. if there was anyone that was the definition of twerp personified, it's Dinesh D'Souza.
I like that.
All right, so give some exposition.
Okay, so Dinesh D'Souza is a guy who got really, really big as a Reagan advisor in the 80s.
Yeah.
And was basically completely full of shit. Like, he never actually graduated college,
Yeah.
but he somehow got to use his conservative credentials to become the head of King's College, the chair of King's College, which is a tiny little Christian college. He's from India. He immigrated here, and so he uses that as his.
He plays the race card a lot.
He plays the race card.
Naturally.
But he wrote that movie. Wrote and directed the movie. Came out during the election. Obama, like
Yeah.
I don't know, it was
yeah,
like the Obama's
yeah.
the Antichrist movie.
Yeah, my favorite thing to watch of Dinesh D'Souza is, probably
Getting
about
indicted.
10 years ago, he debated Christopher Hitchens about God.
Oh, I wish I.
And Christopher Hitchens
I want
just
to see that.
tore him a new asshole.
Well, of course.
And
Praise Hitch.
So yeah, then he does this 2016 Obama's America, where he based the whole argument on Obama inherited this anti-colonialism from his dad in Kenya or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then
A lot of golf in Kenya.
so he was
Yeah.
the head of a Christian college, and you know that Christian colleges, you have to be a good quote end quote person
Take your time.
to be the head of a Christian college or to be involved with the Christian college. Well, it turns out that he was married and he was fucking a lady who was also married,
Yeah. Well, he got indicted this
and
week
then he got indicted this
Got
week
indicted
for giving. Well, I guess he was raising money.
So he was paying people to give money to Romney, or
Okay.
not to Romney, to a Republican Senate candidate. As we know, or every person who's gone through high school should
Well,
know,
he was reimbursing them.
right, that a person
Right.
cannot donate more than $2,300.
No, I thought
To
he
a
was actually
20
like
25.
He was specifically like reimbursing
So
donations.
what
for
he
the
was
people.
doing is he was getting other people to give $2,500 to a candidate, and then he was giving them the $2,500.
Right,
So
right.
he was basically using a loophole so that he could give more money than what is legally permitted.
One count of making illegal contributions in the name of others, and one count of causing false statements to be made, which is open-ended. Sure.
He's also a complete tool.
Yeah. He's like a faux intellectual. Like
Yeah, absolutely. No, regardless of your stance on left, right, politics, whatever.
Sure.
If you ever see him on TV, like in an interview, he is a faux intellectual. He just you just watch him and go, wow, you were just full of shit.
And he's also the reason. He's also the reason that Bill Maher got fired from doing not Real Time, but the one before that.
Politically incorrect.
Politically
yeah.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
Because after 9/11, Dinesh D'Souza was on the panel, and he brought up a thing about the difference between the way that we do things and the way that the terrorists do things. And he said that, he basically made a point that, like, yeah, all we do is just bomb them from far away. And then Bill Maher goes, yeah, we're the cowards for lobbing missiles at them, and they're the ones who are crashing themselves into buildings. And then Dinesh D'Souza was like, yeah, and well, then Bill Maher gets fired, and Dinesh D'Souza never says a single word about any of that.
Sure.
So he's just a little piece
He's
of crap.
he's a little bitch.
Yeah, a little bitch.
Yeah. Literally written from Donnie, saying this specifically. Oh,
This
crap.
guy's a little bitch.
From the stupid little twerps getting what's coming to them department.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That was my favorite thing this week because I've seen him a couple times in interviews. He just rubs me the wrong way because he's just so wrong. But every word out of his mouth is just no.
But that's another point I brought up in the mailer is that he's a person who knows what's real and what's right, but he's saying things to appeal to a large group of people to make money off of them. Like the pastor that
That's called the American
that
way,
Bill
sir.
O'Reilly interviewed, or like every once in a while, if you watch Ted Cruz speak, there's little twitches and stuff in his face that happen.
Sure.
Where you know that he's a Princeton-educated dude. Like, he's not an idiot, but he's having to say idiotic things to get all this support, and you can just kind of see it in his face.
Well, and
he's also Canadian, so I'm not really sure.
well, in the defense of a Republican Party, animatron technology still hasn't gone very far.
There are still a few little bugs in the software that cause the eyebrow twitch. Yeah.
It's akin to watching the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie and see like they're just mouths won't stop moving for a split second. You know, it's just
All right, though. Soon candidates will be 3D printed.
the technology just has not come a long way.
yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
But we will make them stronger and faster.
Print out a new anti-abortion bot.
What do you want, boss?
You know the Koch brothers are working on that technology.
Oh yeah. Every dollar well spent.
What else we had this week?
One that's close to my heart. Game developer King, who created Candy Crush,
Yeah.
owns the trademark on the word candy, working on the trademark for Saga.
I believe they actually did get that shot down. That got shot down later in the week.
There was, they've been working on trying to take that for the right to sell it on T-shirts, essentially.
Yeah, so I think it got shut
Yeah.
down like later this week.
Oh, it did.
What
Okay.
about
I think
Candyland?
so.
You know, like
Well, I mean, yeah.
Oh no! Specifically,
Yeah.
they're looking at the trademark of owning the word candy as it appeared on apparel, and there was some other thing that they're specifically
Right.
looking at. So basically, they were trying to say any shirt that ever says candy on it will be our property, and of course, that's just ridiculous.
The concept of games and clothing for some reason.
But I'm
Attorney
pretty
examiner-
sure it got shot down like on Thursday or something.
That's good.
So-
That's good. That makes sense because what's next? Addiction? They should actually copyright the word addiction because
only on T-shirts.
yeah, the update was King has said that it does not intend to go after all use of the word candy, only those who specifically infringe on its IP. So
it has to have the word crush after it.
any game that says Candy Crush
Well, it has
Light
to-
Saga
well-
or something. I mean, like, I don't know.
Well, I guess by definition of law, it has to be something that says candy that, in someone's eyes, could be confused as representing
Right,
their property.
Right.
So their font, or if you say candy game,
Right. Any clones that come out on either or all three platforms. I don't even know
Whatever.
Windows phones actually have games or not, but probably not.
no, they don't even do. There's
Outlook?
no developers.
Is Outlook a
so-
game? Well, yeah, that says.
So my new business plan to have those booty shorts with Candy Crush on the back of them, apparently no longer good.
Just add an
is
N
what
to
you're saying.
Add an N, make it Candy Crunch, and then
A little asterisk,
yeah.
not asterisk. Not
it'll
good.
be a little inscrutable,
asterisk,
but
yeah.
an asterisk.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if sorority girls are in like 5 years, if I see them wearing Candy Crush booty shorts,
You're gonna know who to come to.
I'm gonna know. I'm gonna know who's got the money.
I'll be buying you drinks. Don't worry about it.
Just go after velour. It's still very cheap to produce. Let's see.
Sexy velour.
Obviously, weed stuff.
Lots of weed stuff.
2014 is the year
The
of
year
the
for weed,
marijuana.
yeah.
Yeah.
Getting all
420.
weeded out on pot.
We are getting all weeded out on pot, cigarettes. Governor Rick Perry for decriminalization of pot is a big nothing at all, because that's just a way for him to, what, I guess, like, take a next step. You said before
he's
it was
trying
like,
to get the Ron Paul voters, I think.
well, I mean, it was
Well, I
for
Vote
his,
for what though?
his next bid
I
for
call it
president.
a
I guess.
distraction against Wendy Davis. So
Right.
just to change the conversation to something that's not her.
But I mean, what else has happened with weed? Like, it's everything. Like, I think the last one was it not Massachusetts,
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. The
Yeah,
senator
yeah.
from New Jersey said that he's like the only people who should be or who should be against weed legalization are drug dealers.
But then Obama even said, "Hey, it's not that bad."
And then
Yeah, he said it's
Something cool.
not any worse than
Than
alcohol.
alcohol.
Yeah.
And then Attorney General Eric Holder just now in the past like day or two said, no, it's totally cool for banks to take weed clinic money in Colorado and Washington.
I agree.
So that's a little
Well,
bit more
I've been
liberal.
saying this for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
I don't even give a shit about weed at all. But I look at it as a commodity that you can monetize and tax.
Yes.
Legalize it for that purpose alone, and if you're a conservative, you'll go, "Oh yes, billions of dollars of revenue. Yes, please.
Yes.
I'll have that.
Yes.
And now is just the time.
Starbucks should sell it in their fucking stores, every single one of them. I mean,
I know,
like, it
yeah.
just makes sense.
Well-
If people are buying a thing and you can make that thing legally
Get a
able to
soy
buy,
latte and a wheat brownie.
right?
Yeah, why not?
Gluten-free weed
Gluten-free
brownie. Yeah.
brownie. That's right. Wheat is gluten free, right?
I think so.
Okay, that
Yeah.
means it's okay.
All I'm saying is the last time I was in California, I had an amazing.
Mr. Humblebrag over here.
Well, so I was in, the BVI, the British Virgin Islands. No, the last time I was in California, I had an amazing Rice Krispie and Fruit Loop treat that was an edible for my glaucoma.
Sure.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
it
of
was
course.
great. And if I could buy that at the corner store on certain occasions, I would totally do it. And they'd have my money. And
Yep,
then
yep.
Uncle Sam could tax me, or Uncle Rick Perry could tax me sales tax on that thing.
Well, yeah. What's the
Unky Rick.
Yeah, the tax on Colorado is really high. It's like 20% or something really silly.
Yeah.
The sales tax.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
And people
Go
are
for it.
still lining up to buy that
Yes,
shit.
they
Like,
are.
they're lining up to
They
pay
almost
that 20%.
They almost ran out of weed the first week.
No, they did run out of weed.
They actually did. Okay. Okay.
Well, I know they're having problems filling up dispensaries. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm
because
not sure if that's certain.
it's almost like it's a
places
popular drug. It's weird.
What?
That's just another one of the ones, or another one of the issues, those splitting issues that I really want to sit down with some of the loudest opponents and be
Yeah.
like, all right,
What's your problem?
it's cool. Like,
Right.
off the record, you and I've bought you a beer. Do you really hate weed? Or are you just trying to get campaign
At this
contributions?
point-
like,
Right,
give
right.
me a break.
At this point, every argument I've heard against it is a BS straw man. That's it.
Sure.
It's a gateway drug. Well, you know what else is a gateway drug? You know what else people try before they try weed?
Yeah, alcohol.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
Beer.
Cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like it.
Well, what's to
everything.
Not being on
stop all
drugs.
those high
Water.
people from getting
school.
behind the wheel and blah 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 blah?
The safest people in the world.
Logic, well, for one, yes. For two,
Paranoia.
Yeah.
logic fallacy, because
Of course. Yeah.
either way, it's going to be illegal. So the people who are already getting behind the wheel
Doing it already. Yeah.
don't seem to mind breaking the law to begin with.
Yeah.
Right.
The people who are waiting for it to be legal probably aren't going to get behind the wheel.
Although,
Well, and another
although I
thing is
wonder
going to
if
help out the garage door industry so much because so many people are going to be backing into their garage doors, not realizing they're open.
very apt.
Oh,
Weed is just a job creator.
I got
That's
all my
it
money
is.
in Genie right now.
Well, same thing
Genie
about
garage door openers. Like,
same thing with gay marriage. I think it was Funny or Die made a musical for Prop 9 or Prop 8, whatever it was in California. Saying like, well, I think Patch, even Neil Patrick Harris was in this like fake musical. Where you're like, okay, well, so you guys don't like gay marriage, but you do like money, and hey, guess what? Gay dudes go crazy for weddings.
That's right.
Like, just let the money
think
come
of all
in.
the flowers we'll be
Yeah,
buying.
money to be made. And then
What-
Jack Black showed up as Jesus, and it was
Well,
awesome.
one of the things I like to do is
so you mean Jack Black showed up?
Well,
Yes.
One of the things I like to do is to try and narrow down a point of view on an argument, or like my argument to as simple as I can. So here's my argument on gay marriage. You don't believe in gay marriage? Okay, fine. Don't get married to somebody of the same sex.
No, we're sure.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That pretty much ends it.
Pretty much.
There's a comedian who was
But
talking
you're
about
destroying America.
that conversation is like, like you're at a restaurant,
Well, the Bible.
Yeah.
you're at a restaurant and you order pie, and the table next to you is like, cancel that pie because I'm offended because if you eat that pie, my kids will want pie.
Yeah.
And really, you having pie is going to make. Why don't you just have pie at home, but like call it a civil
civil
muffin?
muffin.
Yeah. so wonderful. It never ceases to amaze me how people can just get upset over fucking nothing.
What's funny is like
And food, actually. People get
from like the conservative perspective again. There's so much money to be made legalizing it.
Yeah.
There's also dollar savings in the quote unquote war on drugs, which is terrible for many reasons.
well, right.
But think about that. If you're interested in small government as a conservative, the best way to fight the war on drugs is to legalize the drugs. Then there's no more war.
Well, sure.
You want to fight the drug dealers?
Right.
Put the money in Uncle Sam's hands instead.
Well, but there's no money in not having a war, though. Oh, I was like, what is that sound? What does that break sound?
And that's the
That's the sound of break.
Word.
The last bit of that is like the.
Well, there's plenty of money in taxing and legalizing it.
Well, but the last
dispensaries
thing,
and
the last thing I read about Colorado is that the police departments are not making as much money coming in because they can't now legally take illegal weed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well,
And there's a lot of money to be made to.
Well, no, well,
you
like
know.
I saw some number. I think it was like 90% of our entire prison system is run by private companies,
Yeah.
and most of that money comes from. Well, what's funny is it's private companies who make money from the government
Yep.
by having people in jail.
Right.
And
Right.
the easiest way to get that is to have bullshit offenses, which
Right.
is why there's so many people in jail for drug possession,
Right.
specifically marijuana possession, which is ridiculous.
But we're for small government,
Oh yeah,
which means that we're going to pay people to
be in
incarcerate
jail.
people,
Other people.
for doing
Right.
things that
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
we consider immoral.
Well, because it's dangerous.
yes.
But
And again,
you know,
for the
small
conser-
government.
for the
I
pure,
don't want to. I don't want to teach my kids what not to do.
But
I just want to keep them away
yeah,
from
but
it.
from the pure conservative perspective, if I can legalize a drug and tax it and make money, then I'm no longer paying out money for these private prisons.
Sure.
It's how do you not process
Well,
that?
right. Well, that's the fiscal. The fiscal conservative is almost. It's the penultimate dinosaur of the political era. Yeah, like we're not really looking at fiscal.
But it is what they
conservatism.
always say they are.
Well, I mean,
But they're not.
right, exactly. Yeah, they're definitely not.
They're
all culture now.
They are against big government when big government's doing something they don't like.
No,
they're all for big government if the big government is doing the thing.
Especially military spending.
Well, that's an easy way for people to get into it, but really it just comes down to a moral need to
You know what?
police.
We are
Yes.
not drunk enough for this yet.
It's true. Let's take a break.
We're here to rock you.
I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Are we back now?
We're back now. Welcome to the show, everyone. Yeah. So we went a little long on the second segment, which is fine.
That was the third segment.
No. Because we went long on the second segment, finished the third segment, we can go into toasts.
Sure. Well, I went earlier, I mentioned.
Yes, and I think that was important. We've had a lot of actually significant deaths this year, which has been a bummer overall. You know. But Dylan, if you want to go ahead and take the proverbial stand there.
In my mind, one of the classic actors, stage and screen, as well as one of the classic drinkers of all time.
Yes.
We lost Mr. Peter O'Toole not too long ago. A couple weeks ago, actually. We missed this. But the man was funny and a great actor and could drink all of us under the table.
Totally under the table. He's
In
probably
fact, He's probably still alive, actually.
Yeah, under the table right now and dreaming.
You beat me to that one.
Cheers.
Oh, Buttercup.
Travis, that was my favorite joke you've ever made.
Thank you,
You
man.
beat me. I was
Fans of Dave will know. You know.
yeah.
This has been fun. Anything else we missed? Anything else worth noting?
I don't have anything right now that comes to mind.
Hallie.
Good, I got it.
All right. Well, we had a great time here on episode 70. I'm probably
70.
gonna 70. Yes, 70. We're still at Don's but we're still having a good time, and I hope you enjoyed everything we've done so far. I'd like to thank Donnie for being on the show.
Thank you, Travis.
I thank Dylan for helping me run the show.
Yeah, I'm just building you up, Buttercup.
Yes, you are. That's your best feature. And Hallie, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us.
I'm just breaking you down.
Worst of all, I'm Travis Kilder. If you want to know more about the show, go to drunkcastlive.com. You can ask us some questions at drunkcastlive.com/ask, twitter.com/drunkcastlive. You can go to facebook.com/drunkcastlive. You can do Google search for Drunkcast Live. You can even do Google search for Drunkcast if your fingers hurt. Rheumatoid arthritis is so serious in America. What else? iTunes Store, Zune Store. Come check out everything. We'll have shirts someday, so just keep refreshing until the shirts show up. But I'm your host, Travis Kilder, and we love you, and we will see you very soon next week.
Bye.
Yay!
We're here to rock you.
Drunkcast Live is a semi-portable podcast from Austin, Texas that records the show live with permission from bars and restaurants. Although they are kind enough to allow us on their property, the venue is not responsible for content or the opinion of any host or guest. If you'd like more information about the show or when and where we record, please check out facebook.com/drunkcastlive, twitter.com/drunkcastlive, or drunkcastlive.com.
What the deal is?
I just liked LeVar
Empty
Burton.
calories. That was my eating a ghost joke. I couldn't think of it for a second. I'm sorry. Keep going.